The time, the late 1930s through the early 1950s. The place, Minneapolis Auditorium.
As we open our broadcast tonight, the girls are out on the track, but we find one young man. That's Joe Evans of team number 5, who is out on the track relieving his partner who is having a bit of skate trouble, and he must keep up the mileage for that team while she is in the center, receiving skates repair, while the pack is being come intact. Find the red light is on, and the crowd, believe me, are somewhat booing the attempts at number 5 girl because having to lead the track and the boy out there will be at some advantage. In the event that he's successful in starting a jam and gaining a point, it will count just as though his partner were on the track. And that's the reason that brings out the point that many well-known sports writers have said that the roller derby is the only major sport of the present day in which men and women compete on an equal basis.
Moving ahead 20 years to the early 70s, the place, the Met Center.
Sally is number 8. She's the captain of the ladies' portion of the Los Angeles Thunderbirds. The T-Birds are the good guys in this match with the New York Bombers, and as it goes in this type of thing, the heroes always take their lumps early.
Have you ever thought about taking up knitting?
Taking up what?
Knitting.
Knitting. Well, I do a little bit of knitting. My mom taught me.
The fans love it and hang on every match. Sally gives a good performance. It's said in the roller games there's a couple things you just don't do. You don't spit when you're skating forwards, and you don't mess around with Sally Vega.
I'm a woman's liver. Well, I don't really like to beat on anyone. I don't like to hurt anyone, but sometimes the emotions flare up and we get into hair pulling contests, and if you put your skates on, I might show you a little bit.
The time, fast forward to the present. The place, all across Minnesota.
Steve Sweat giving Firewall a big move out. He just barely misses.
Hey there, my name is Scarman Helectra. I skate for the Minnesota Roller Girls All-Stars in St. Paul, Minnesota. I've been skating a really long time, 9 years. Here's something you should know about roller derby. It's really fun, but it will take over your life in a very good way. You'll have like 100 instant friends. You'll work harder than you've ever worked before, and you'll love every minute of it. And it's gonna hurt sometimes. It's gonna hurt a lot of the times, but you're gonna like it because it's fun. That's what you should know about roller derby.
My name is Josh Swinarski, or I go by Derby Monster in the derby world. I play for the Twin Cities Terrors, or Minnesota Men's Roller Derby. I have played since March of 2011, so it's about 2.5 years. As well as being on the Terrors, I also help a lot with North Star Roller Girls. I train with their regular league, as well as with the Satellites, which is their up-and-coming program, their rec league. If you're interested in joining, there's all kinds of different programs. The men's league has the Fresh Meat League. The women's league, there's the debutantes for Minnesota Roller Girls. There's also the Satellites for North Star Roller Girls. There's all kinds of different things you can watch on YouTube.
Today's iteration of roller derby is played on a flat track, which could be made anywhere there's a flat surface. Even your living room if it's big enough.
Getting gear, there's stores here in town. There's Derby for All and there's Roller Revolution. They can get you set up with everything. It's basic equipment. You're looking at skates, knee pads, elbow pads, wrist guards, helmet, and a mouth guard. You get those things, you can join roller derby. We'll teach you all the rest.
Did someone say skates? Here's a company that knows a thing or two about skates. Rydell in Red Wing, Minnesota. A lot of time, hard work, and dedication goes into making skates. The same can be said for derby skaters.
One thing that I wish I would have known when I started roller derby, I think I did know it, but I didn't take this advice, is it's important to skate both directions. We skate the derby direction, counterclockwise, all the gosh darn time, and it's really important to build up the strength on both sides. A lot of people joke about their support leg, their left leg being like a little bit more strong than their other side. So even strength, working both sides, that's what I would tell myself. That's what I would tell myself. The game in 2005 and the game in 2013, it's the same game, but there are many, many differences.
When I started skating 2.5 years ago, there has been 2 or 3 rule set changes.
When I started, penalties came kind of willy-nilly at the discretion of the referees. That something was getting a little wild. If there was a fight, there was a fist fight in the middle of the game, they'd pull the two off each other and they'd say, "Spin the penalty wheel!" And the penalty wheel would be spun, and it would say, "You're going to have a backwards lap race for points. And if you won the race, you would get a point. If you lost, you wouldn't get that points."
They're constantly evolving the sport.
If you fight, you get ejected now. It's a different scene.
Making it better to watch, making it better to play, making it safer.
The game is slower. There's a lot more backwards movement now than there used to be.
They're making all kinds of little small tweaks to rules to make them more easy to follow.
I think it's exciting because it's dynamic in that way, but it does look pretty different.
And to make everything that I said safer, it's awesome.
I'm a little afraid of these girls. They've been trying to get me to join the group for some time now. Introducing the merciless, the ruthless, the fearless ladies of our hometown Minneapolis Roller Derby League, the North Star Roller Girls. Looking good. You got to come out and watch the North Star Roller Girls down at the beautiful Minneapolis Convention Center during their regular season. That season runs from October through April. Until then, check out their summer schedule of appearances and free scrimmages at NorthstarRollerGirls.com. NorthstarRollerGirls.com.
Roller derby has a very, very bright future as long as we allow it to evolve. This is something that the average Joe can play. You don't have to be someone who is 22 and has played sports for 20 of those years anymore. The more people we get in doing it, the more popular it can get. There are thousands of roller derby teams worldwide. Not all of them are affiliated with leagues. It's coming. Roller sports was on the docket to be included on the Olympics, which would include roller derby. Hopefully we will make that happen soon. Watch for it coming.
I just want it to be taken more seriously in general, but I think the future of roller derby, the future is with the children. These junior leagues popping up will blow you away. It's amazing. These kids are doing things that, when they're my age, they'll have been playing roller derby for 20 years, and it's going to be a sight to behold, to be sure.
Do say so. We have close to 6,500 people here tonight, and believe me, they're all sticking right in here, and it goes to prove that the roller derby is the fine sport that we've told you time after time. We've invited you out here as our guests. We've given you courtesy coupons and introductory passes in order for you to see the roller derby and see just what a fine sport it actually is. Something of excitement for each and every one of you. It's a sport for men, women, and children. And those of you women who are listening in, it's a very strong arguing point to the question that you probably, no doubt, have argued about many a time as to which is the better athlete, the men or the women. Well, in the roller derby, you'll find that the women are every bit as fine as skaters as far as speed and grace is concerned on the track as the men. And it's something everyone wants to see.